Good evening. Tonight's glitch in the Matrix experience is from one person, but an ensemble of extremely weird things happening on a car trip with his mom. Let's get into it. Author name: RJR37. Story title: Not sure where to start. I posted this in another subreddit, and someone suggested to post it here. I'm a bit unsure about sharing my full experience here, as 1, it's pretty long, and 2, it might not even be the right subreddit. Something happened to me when I was 16. I was on a car journey with my mom. She was driving me up to the country from her house in Surrey, UK, to my dad's house in Durham. It was weird. Here are some highlights. Number 1, we lost time, or managed to drive somehow at 250 miles per hour. Not sure which is worse. 2, phone records of calls we had made during the journey existed on our phones, but not the phones of the people we had called. 3, day and night were all messed up. We stopped at a petrol station in the dark and bought drinks, but we both distinctly remember it being daylight when we drank them in the car. They were the only drinks we had on the trip. 4, I spoke to my mom in a voice that wasn't mine, but while we both vividly remember it happening, neither of us can remember what was said. 5, my mom said the car didn't feel right, like it wasn't in contact with the road, almost like it was sliding from side to side on oil. It's a newish car, regularly serviced and well taken care of. 6, we saw weird flashes in the sky the whole journey, like sheet lightning, but there were no storms. It was always the same position, direction, and distance from the car all the way through the 5-hour-ish journey, which was even weirder. 7, for most of the journey, we both felt fine, even though we were aware that things weren't right. We were okay with it. But when we turned up about 30 minutes on the other side of the home, after my mom somehow managed to get lost on a route she had driven dozens of times, possible but unlikely, we both felt absolutely terrified and felt like we were being watched. Literally, like if we turned around, there would be someone right outside the back window. I've never felt like that, and it stayed with us all the way until we pulled up on the driveway. I opened the car door to bolt into the house, and my mom screamed at me not to leave her alone in that car. That was so out of character for her. She's always been the strong one, but that just shows how scared she was too. There was a lot more to it, and I can write about it in more detail if people are interested, or if it would help. But I just wondered if anyone had experienced any of these things, or if anyone has any idea what sort of paranormal experience this could have been. Personal thoughts. This is a doozy. Quite a lot happening here. The first one being that they drove so fast, or that they just lost time. A lot of this is striking me as an alien abduction story, mainly because losing time is almost always associated. It's weird, there's different theories. Okay, are they here to observe? Are they here to study us? If they've been here for a while, you'd think they'd got enough data by now. But who knows? We are very different individuals, so maybe they just want to keep studying us. But they don't want us to know, so they erase our memories, or fragment them. The advice I always hear given is to try hypnosis. It can be useful if done voluntarily, and fully accepting of the suggestions, to unlock repressed memories. Sometimes it's not even aliens doing it. Anytime there's some traumatic event, our brains can actually mask what happened to protect ourselves. Similar to, small spoiler for Supernatural if you haven't watched it, don't listen. In Supernatural, Sam was tortured in hell, in the cage, from Lucifer himself. Of course, it was a year in real time, but it was probably 100 years or something in the cage. Can you imagine being tortured that long? I can't, especially by the devil himself. Anyways, it was so traumatic that Death had to construct a barrier in the mind of Sam so that he wouldn't go completely insane. Well, it's a similar concept, although we construct our own barriers to protect our minds. Also, the fact that the calls they made showed up on their phones, but didn't connect to anyone else, that also strikes me as being in a ship where you could make a call, but it wasn't able to connect out. The signal just wasn't strong enough, or they were too far away. Even the day and night cycle seems strange. Like, you go in, you buy food, and then you're in your car and it's already daylight. If I have to lend my money to anything, this was an alien abduction. Even the sense of being watched, well, perhaps they really were. And flashes in the sky, yeah, some kind of alien abduction. I'm almost certain that's what it was. I'm just glad they're okay.